A video depicting various celebrities protesting Ye, also known as Kanye West, for his anti-Semitic comments went viral on social media this week. However, the video is completely AI generated. So this video uses the likeness of celebrities, including Scarlett Johansson, Jerry Seinfeld, and Adam Sandler, without their permission, and depicts them wearing a shirt with a middle finger and a Star of David and Kanye's name underneath. Johansson, who was depicted, as I mentioned in the video's opening shot, was critical of the video, saying, quote, "We must call out the misuse of AI, no matter its messaging, or we risk losing a hold on reality." For more, let's bring in CBS News confirmed executive editor Rona Tarrant. So, Rona, when I first saw this, I mean, I'm a journalist. I consider myself somebody who, trust but verify. This looked real to me. What do we know about the origins of this video?
It looked real to me too. When I looked at it first, it took me actually a few goes to figure out that it actually was AI. So we traced it back to these two guys who live in Israel. They work for an AI company. Now, they posted it online after the Super Bowl to protest Kanye West's actions. Now, they put it online. They said, they were denouncing his actions. And they said, but, this is an AI-generated video in the description.
Very small.
Yes, and also in Hebrew. So if you were looking at that original post, now what people did was they downloaded that video, re-uploaded it to their own accounts, and did not include that disclaimer. So it obviously fooled quite a lot of people online and annoyed at least one of the celebrities, Scarlett Johansson. Now, one of my colleagues, Layla, did speak to the guy who created it. He said he hadn't heard from any of the celebrities. He also said he really didn't mean to mislead anybody, but that he was hoping to start a conversation around hate speech. But as you know, when you put something out on the internet, it really is out of your hands.
It takes on a life of its own. And anytime you're messing with somebody's likeness on AI, there's going to be some blowback. So how can people do a better job of spotting something like this if, for example, the message happens to be in Hebrew?
So I watched the video very slowly, and there was a few signs. The biggest thing was the movements and the hands. AI is really bad on details. So if you actually watch the video and you look at the hands, two of the celebrities high-five each other and their hands actually melt together. There's another instance where one of the celebrities, he's running his fingers through his hair and he actually only has 3 fingers on one of the hands. And one of them as well, which is Steven Spielberg, the depiction of Steven Spielberg, when he runs his fingers across his leg, they actually meld in together as well. So these are really small details.
Oh, man, you got to have a trained eye to be looking at that stuff.
Yeah, and we downloaded it and paused it. So it actually took, and we do this stuff all the time, it was really hard. Wow. I think the other thing to do is just look at the account. So is this actually coming from Scarlett Johansson's account, for example, or is it coming from this account that posts a lot of AI-generated content? And finally, just checking trusted sources, getting off the platform, go on Google, see what people are saying about this online.
So some lawmakers and celebrities obviously have been critical of AI-generated content. What's the latest on legislation regarding generative AI? Are we in an era right now where we're talking about more regulation or less?
Definitely more. So a lot of states have regulations around AI, but a lot of it is really to do with politics and deepfake pornography. So 2 areas where people kind of agree on. A really small number of states have it around likeness, so people's images and voices. There is an act, or there is at least legislation that was introduced last year, it was proposed last year, around that would protect people like Scarlett Johansson around their likeness and their voice being used. Now, that was only introduced last year, I should say. So we'll see where that...
At the federal level?
Yes, at the federal level. So at the House and the Senate, it's at the committee stage right now. So we'll see where that goes. There's actually broad bipartisan support. The problem is you also have enforcement, even if that does come in. So, number one, the AI companies would have to agree to it or at least have to enforce it. You'd also have the social media platforms would need to take things down.
The AI companies would be enforcing it, policing themselves?
So the AI companies, they would have to make sure that they are not allowing people to generate images of celebrities. Now, the thing about that is if they're a US-based company, that might be no problem. But the internet's global, so these are global companies. So maybe you're not allowed to do it with US-based products, but you could do it, say, for example, if you were living in Israel or India or wherever else it might be. So the internet is global, and that's a problem as well. There may be legislation at a federal level coming in the US, but the internet is global.
Brave new world. Silver lining, job security for CBS News confirmed. Rona Tarrant, thank you.
Thank you.